very strongly. But until a state or federal agency comes up with a better plan, and that's the only guidance I'm taking at this point.
Well, that's my question. The FBI does have a better plan. If the FBI statistics specifically state that lockdown drills cause more deaths than running away or hiding. So that is my question. Why in this unit are we not following the guidance by the FBI in protecting our children rather than doing lockdowns? According to the FBI, 60% of students die during lockdown rather than running or hiding. So
I've never heard that stuff in my life. Chief, anything?
So, I guess we need to get back to your original question. This man deserves an answer. Why did it take so long? There's a great explanation why it took so long. And Mike can also explain why it may take longer in the future if we don't have all the help from other law enforcement agencies. Thank you.
My name is Mike Stevens. I'm the Deputy Chief of Police from Niskayuna. I want everybody in this room to understand something right off the bat. And this will be the way anytime I'm in charge of any of these events, and my rank and my job, I'm usually the one in charge of them. My number one goal in this is the safety of every child and every staff member in this building. A distant by number 363 on my list is who I anger when I do that. That's collateral damage to me. These kids are going to go home. So with that, first of all, I want to take the opportunity to thank Albany County Sheriff's Office, which supplied us with 3 dogs this day. Troy Police Department, which also sent us 2 dogs, and officers, handlers. Every dog's had a handler with them. The New York State Police sent us a dog also, and New York State Park Police also sent us a dog. I also had officers from the Schenectady County Sheriff's Task Force that showed up. I had officers from Rotterdam Police Department and Schenectady Police Department. So I want to take the opportunity to actually express my thanks to those agencies for helping us when we're in need, as we would for them if they're in need. That's how this works. The question as to why it takes so long is we are trying to systematically clear a building that is, did you say 170,000 square feet?
70,000 square feet.
70,000 square feet, upwards of 80 classrooms, not just rooms, classrooms, and 1,400 students. And I have to ensure that every one of those students is safe, does not have a weapon on them that can become our perpetrator or our suspect. And until I'm confident of that, no kids getting out of here because I can't say they're going to go home safe to their parents. So that's number one. That will always be number one. Who I anger, I apologize now. It's going to be a bunch of you. So I'm sorry. Ma'am, I've never even seen that statistic.
Where are we getting our guidance from? Where is the decision? Who is making the decision as to whether or not we do lockdown, lockout, shelter in place versus run and hide, run or hide? Who's making this decision? Because if we're not doing what data shows us is the most effective method to protect our kids in these situations.
If you had information that
FBI's website, I was there today. 57% of kids are being killed before law enforcement arrives.
That's a different stat you're talking about. You're talking about a
Yeah,
different
you're
stat.
talking about an active shooter.
Ma'am, you are talking about an active shooter situation versus a lockdown.
The whole purpose of the drill is to protect us in the event that there is an actual situation.
But you need to realize you're saying 57% are killed before law enforcement gets there. So we're clear. In these active shooter incidents, I'm just trying to provide you with an answer.
Right. So the methods that we use were sent out over the summer. We made sure that every family understood and what we were doing, when we were doing it, why we were doing it. We have district-wide safety plans. We have individual building plans that are in place. Again, what happened today and what happened in the past 3 events are very, very different than an active shooter. Right? You got it, right? So, and then this man right here is next, but somebody had yelled out earlier, we're not addressing the bigger problem. And the bigger problem is we really have to take better care of our kids and each other. So, sir.
You have to give everybody else a chance.
First of all, thank you for the communication to the parents was excellent that day. I had a concern though with the way dismissal was handled. We got the information that you didn't want parents coming to the school to pick their kids up, and I get that that would be a chaotic rush of people arriving. However, walkers were sent home in the dark, in the rain, and the chaotic crush that you wanted to avoid at the school happened on the block between Rankin and Clifton Park Road. I walked up to the intersection at Balltown and Rankin to meet my son. We missed each other and the dozens of kids going by. It was confusing, and I don't feel like sending them out in the dark and the rain you did everything you could to keep your kids safe in the school, but I don't think sending them out in the dark was safe.
Right, so here's what we learned. So we had buses available for students, walkers who wanted to take the bus rather than walk. What we've learned from this is that we're not going to give them that option. Now, we also know we're going to lose kids, right? So once we dismiss them, with 1,400 teenagers who've been stuck in a room for hours, we're going to do our best to make sure that all walkers get on a bus and get to where they need to go. Now that would take, maybe a student gets home an hour later than they normally would have had they walked, but to your point, you're absolutely right. It doesn't make a difference if it's a middle school or a high school event. We're going to make sure all the walkers get on a bus and not just give them the option. So, thank you.
We asked actually the officer, could you consider, when you do the speech, doing it in segments? At the first of this building, there are exits every other, 30, 40 feet. You have a small army brigade here. Even the escort kids, when you, segmented an area and found that it was safe, some officers could escort kids to the facility. You started at one end or however, I'm not sure.
The question is, in terms of the action, I think I understand your question. The question is in terms of the procedures to clear the building, breaking into segments. I think you're assuming we didn't do that. I'm here to tell you we did. The building was broken up. We had, what's that?
Why don't you release them after you get right? That's a great question, and there's a legitimate answer. Yep.
Yes, because, ma'am, we hadn't cleared everybody in the school. We didn't know if there was possibly another gun or a gun still in this school. So if I start letting students out who I've cleared, and they walk past the classroom,
No, you escorted. There was you had over 7 or 8 agencies.
that's my answer to you. Unfortunately, is that's not reasonable. It's not reasonable. So, again, ma'am, as I said very on, student safety is number one in my world. Who I anger is collateral damage. So I apologize for that now. Cause you can call who's next.
Yeah, honestly, I'm doing my best. So, and if you want to come down, it's easier. Yes.
In the school.
Please.
Be respectful? This is my school, and I ain't here standing up saying, grow up. Be respectful. This is the process. Let her speak. Let yourself get a moment. This is my goddamn school. I ain't here standing on stage, go up. I was unsafe. I don't know what happened. Now, you speak a minute.
She's a friend of ours, yes. And but we're very passionate about this. We've been standing in the back for a while, and we haven't been. Hold on yet. Well, we've been standing up.
Students have an opportunity to speak. I have a child who's in school too.
Just let me stop for a moment.
It's a parent forum.
Number one, if we can't continue in some sort of adult, responsible manner, realizing that not all of us are going to get an opportunity to participate, then I'm going to have to end this, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, sir.
Okay.
So if
You're not adults. We are children that's here.
Right, I get it. Do you have a question though?
Yes, I do.
Sure.
Couple things.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
you're right. Please have
Fair enough.
Please have a seat.
Fair enough.
Actually,
I'll
you're right.
ask-
So
I'll
you're
ask
right.
my question.
Come on, yeah, please. Because I just want to say to the students, we do have student forums, and they're all invited to attend them.
Can you answer my question though?
Yes.
Policy. I had called the school and asked what the policy was for a lockdown. I was informed that only teachers have that. Is there any way, that's what I was told when I called. Is there any way that the policy can be shared with the parents and other people so they know what the procedure is? Back to the first question that this woman asked, because her daughter didn't know what to do.
We can absolutely share those in generic, without going to specifics. Absolutely, and we will do that. That's a great suggestion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Todd Sardella. My daughter is a freshman here. My son is in 7th grade at VA. So this has happened twice in the last couple of
We have
days.
something in common, he and I.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you. I would just like to make a suggestion, because I'll reiterate some of the things people have said here, but there's no need to. But when the announcement first came over yesterday, apparently it was, this is not a drill, we are in lockdown, that's it. Please say, we're not in immediate danger. There's no active shooter here. Every time the door slammed, they thought it was a gunshot. My daughter is texting me, Dad, I love you. She's texting her little brother, I love you. She never says that, folks. Okay, so these kids thought there was a shooter in this school. And it's a big difference. It's a big difference if they know, take it easy, there's no immediate danger right now. That's going to make a big difference because, and I appreciate everything you do, sir. But you say, I don't care who I anger, but maybe think about who you psychologically damage. Because there's a lot of that
First of all, I would say thank you for concrete things that we can implement immediately. Same to you, ma'am. Concrete pieces that we can implement immediately that are well within reason. So I know you've been waiting upstanding for so long, so please.
First, I want to thank you guys. I'm fine that my son went to the bathroom and decided that he was alive and talked. What are we going to do moving forward? We kind of spoke that to make sure that our children are safe in the future because it is part of our society.
Sure. So the answer, the question was, what are we going to do in the future to make sure that the students are safe? Everything in our power. So listen, first and foremost, I'm a dad. I have 2 kids. I know. Huh? They're in institutions. This, right? So obviously I understand your how you feel. And again, I don't want to keep repeating myself. Student safety and staff safety is our first concern. We are working diligently with several law enforcement agencies. I keep repeating myself. We have monthly meetings with law enforcement and other state agencies to help us perfect this issue. I would love to sit here and guarantee your children's safety. I would love to be able to do that, but no one's able to do that. You just need to know that we take this very seriously. We are working none of us want to have what happened happen. None of us want to have these meetings, right? They're not, but we have to start to realize that society has changed in such a way that we all have to be much more vigilant about what's going on. So we are trying to perfect these plans every single day with every bit of information, with every bit of help and criticism that we receive from each and every one of you. There's nothing more we can do than that at this point. Yes, ma'am.
Why are kids being allowed in school that are kicked out of other schools and they're not allowed to disclose why they were kicked out of the other school when there was acts of terrorism that they performed at other schools? And they're being allowed into our schools.
The question was, why do we allow students in this school that have been kicked out of others? I'm not aware that that's happened, any specifics, but if a student of compulsory age lives in the Niskayuna Central School District, they're going to be able to come to school. If they do come to our district in the middle of a suspension or in the middle of any disciplinary action that's happening in their former school, we will finish it out here. But in the end, then they return.
Yeah, but even if the disciplinary action was taken care of, I mean, if they did something like a terror attack, they're still being allowed in here? They're still
Yeah, so, yeah, I get that. Yeah, we just have to abide by state and federal law for free and appropriate public education. There's some things that we just can't get over. Yes. Yes. So, the question was, will the students be informed of what rights do they have during the drills? I need everyone to listen to me. And I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. The thing that has amazed me the most about this community are the students. By and large, they're thoughtful, they're intelligent, they're articulate, they think almost everything out that they're going to do, and they like to debate adults. Honestly, I love it. But be clear, during a crisis, comply is your only right. Comply.
I actually have a two-part question. I understand there's planning that goes into all of this. You've already said that there are 70,000 some odd square foot in this high school. Was the time factor to estimate how long this was going to take in your plan? And the second part is, if it was, and you understood it was going to be taking multiple hours based on what you understood, why weren't there potentially like temporary sanitary facilities, a screen, a camping commode, and cleanup in the classroom?
So the question is twofold. One, did we put the time, did we consider how long it would take? So the answer is no. And here's the reason why. We don't know how long any of these events are going to take at the onset because it's all dependent on how many law enforcement officers we can get to respond.
And the nature of the incident.
And the nature of the incident. So that's just the honest answer. If 30 law enforcement officers show up, it's going to take a lot quicker than if 7 do. So, and I know that calls are made when necessary. What do you call it, Andy? Help me?
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid. So, the second question, what can be done to, and I'm going to paraphrase, so if I do this wrong, let me know. What can we do to ease that whole bodily function? And we're actually, so the market, unfortunately, yes, we're ordering them. Buckets, curtains, cat litter, water. Actually, we're working with the nurses so that every student who has some nutritional needs that may not be able to be in a room for more than, you're next, I see you, you're next, I got you. Stare holes in me, I got you. All those things are going to be put in place. At the next meeting of the safety committee, we're actually going to inform the committee. It's December 5th, but honestly, those meetings are open to the public. They're in the middle of the day, and there's a million reasons why they're not. But so yes, sir, we're going to have kits in place as soon as possible, and we're going to make sure that. And I've actually learned that other school districts have exactly those same kits to address these needs. Yes, ma'am. You. Sure. The question was, if one school goes on a lockdown, should they all go? Lock out. I think that's reasonable, right? I think that's very reasonable. We have to have but I'm not going to give you a definitive answer right now because I really would like to address this with several of the PTOs and building leaders. As this gentleman said, the emotional scars that we inflict on students unintentionally are hard enough to live with. We want to make sure that we don't intentionally do it as well.
I personally am concerned with it being affected because semi-emotionally starting having a lockout versus getting, going there and tell the job or.
But it's a perfectly reasonable request, and we absolutely will consider it, sir. Well, okay, again, so stay standing, so I don't lose you. Right. Yeah. So today I made the conscious decision I made the conscious decision, no one else, only to notify VA when we went into the shelter in place today. We're still debating whether or not, or what conditions need to exist to put the whole community on notice. But today's event was specific to VA. There was no indication that it should affect any other building. So that decision was made. And I'll tell you, from time to time, folks, we're going to notify everybody. And from time to time, we won't. And I understand now that that's not going to satisfy every single person in the community. But we're doing our best, working with our communications team to find out what's the most effective way. I'm just letting everybody know, sir, we have 12 minutes, but you're up.
I get the sense that some folks are wanting to know more detail associated with instructions post the announcement. There was one already made associated with whether or not there's an active threat, but specifically what action is supposed to be taken. I heard that some classrooms had kids with pipes ready to hit people that came in. Somebody had other means that they were trying to come up with in case somebody breached. It seems like that implies a need for further training on the run, hide, and fight dynamic beyond just the announcement.
Absolutely. So the professional development, though, that needs to go into continuing to train all the adults that work in the building certainly needs to be perfected and has to be ongoing. So it can't be just a one and done experience. This is already being built into our professional development plans. So
beyond that, it implies different resources. It shouldn't be that one classroom is ready to repel an intruder and another classroom is going to be sitting there.
Right, exactly. We need to make sure that everybody has the equal tools in order to do things. No, we're absolutely going to do that.
Can we let the students speak for once?
So again,
I agree. Yes.
Because you won't let the kids talk. They come here every day. We don't.
We're in a classroom for 5 years.
so I'm again going to say
To ask
that
questions.
the student
We
forums
don't get one.
take place multiple times throughout the year and give students the opportunity to interface with the administrators and me on a regular basis. Tonight is really for the adults. Students have ample opportunity throughout the day to engage with.
That doesn't matter.
One teacher asked.
Yes, sir.
Why can't we speak? This is our school. Let her speak. Let Emily ask your question. Ask your question.
After this,
I just want to second what the gentleman here said about the teachers. I want to know if you could explain the disparity in how they told their class what they could do. Because it seemed like the teachers, maybe some of them didn't know there wasn't an active situation and some of them did. So I think we need to have more consistency about what you're supposed to do. Because one of my kid friends was sitting in the corner told not to move an inch. Other ones were watching movies and moving freely around the room. So which one should it have been? So you need to get that under control. And I also want to publicly thank the custodians. I brought them.
Yes.
so to your answer, to your question, the answer is we actually walked through that. What are the processes? At our safety committee meeting today, we're going to share that information with faculty so that they know this is what you do with lights, this is what you do with curtains, this is what you do once your room has been secured, this is what you do before.
Let them talk.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a son who's at VA in the what is planned for them now, post these events, like for their emotional well-being?
So, we'll definitely have counselors on hand, as we always do. So even the day after this event, we had all hands on deck in terms of providing social and emotional support for students. We'll continue to do that after every event. If we have to call in help from local school districts, we help each other out all the time in events. So I've sent counselors to other schools when they've needed it, they've sent it back. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm a teacher at Shelby Hill School District. I've worked at several other school districts over the years, and there are precedent every week in schools. They usually bring in law enforcement. They decide if it's credible or not and how to act. And I appreciate your efforts. However, I can't. There's no recall in recent history that any lockdown has ever gone on for over 5 hours. And I'm just wondering, is it because, and literally, even when they found weapons involved in Saw last year, it was resolved in less than 2.5 hours. So I'm just wondering, is the problem not because of your abilities, but because of lack of resources? Should our first line of defense be maybe the sheriff's department, who have the dogs, who have the resources, and do not waiting for all of those people to respond? It may happen twice. It has never happened anywhere else. With all lockdowns in Lebanon, this is the basis in our whole capital district.
So tomorrow, I'll be talking to both Joe Dragoni and Ken Slentz at Boston Lake, Boston Spa rather, to see what happens. See what conditions existed to make it quicker, to see, because I'm unaware of a quicker process. And I also will say that, I've asked for some assistance. I actually reached out to Shen in Schenectady today, my colleagues, to say, there's some sort of threat assessment protocols that you have in place that we can use.
It seems like a lot of the time it's not wasted, but you are waiting on resources to come in. And it's
That's a
just-
geographical problem that you're never gonna get around.
Well, when you're working with a staff, that, there's only so many of you. that are
Exactly.
working.
There's only so many
You don't
Stanton
have
County
to-
sheriffs, so many state police agents.
Right, but they respond to the dogs immediately.
Sure, I will say this. Schenectady County, Albany County, Saratoga County, Troy Police, every organization that has access to dogs has responded when we've needed them to.
Right, but the time lost, I'm just saying.
Right.
How much time do you believe was actually lost? I'm just curious.
I don't know, I'm asking you, if they're coming from Troy and all over.
The Troy officer's been here in about 12 minutes. I know, I'm just asking.
What would be the benefit of making it shorter? I mean, that's what I know. That's what I know.
In a lockdown situation, I don't know if you're aware, all medical issues, you can't get, and if I have a heart attack in my classroom, I'm on the floor until the last second call. There's no medical services whatsoever, because you're not allowed to receive medications, and that's just one aspect of it, of wanting to reduce the amount of time.
So we actually discussed that today specifically, how we would escort nurses.
Other than convenience, was like, sit there 5 hours up there.
Okay, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to.
My kid used a garbage can to go to the bathroom.
Thank you, everyone. I will let you know when the next forum is. Thank you very much.
You call Mr.